So amidst all this royal controversy that's been going down lately with Meghan Markle and Oprah and this notorious interview, people are asking a lot of really good questions. Questions about racism, questions that demand answers. But one question that I hear almost nobody asking, that I've been asking my entire life, is why the fuck do we still have a royal family? Why the fuck is there still a monarchy in the 21st century, in the year 2021? And I say we. I'm coming at you right now from Canada, although this local region seems to be controlled by something called the V Gang. What's that all about? Anyway, here in Canada, the Queen is officially our head of state. My head of state right now is Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. It's completely fucked up, and it's really embarrassing to say that. It's beyond embarrassing, actually. I would say my entire life I've felt that it's insulting to human dignity that the monarchy still exists. Because our mentality in Canada, and I'm sure it's similar in the UK and in Australia and other Commonwealth countries, is, well, they don't have any power anymore. They're just figureheads. They're kind of useless. They're just there on the coins and the money, but they don't do anything. They can't. We still have a quasi-democratic process, so what does it really matter? Well, there actually is a life and death importance to it. But first, why I consider it insulting to our dignity. Because this is how I've always seen it. Okay, fine, they have no power right now. But imagine if Saddam Hussein had not gone down the way he did and had not been killed, and he actually had lived his entire life, and he had passed down the dictatorship of Iraq to his son, Saddam Hussein Jr., Uday or Qusay Hussein or something like that. Multiply that, hundreds of years later, many generations later, Iraq evolved into a constitutional monarchy, the way the UK, Canada, and the other Commonwealth countries are. And the grandchildren of Saddam Hussein had no power anymore, but they still lived in the palaces that Saddam got from mass torturing and mass murdering his own people, all the wealth that he stole from the people of Iraq. That'd be a fucking insult to the people of Iraq and to the human race. So now you look at the British monarchy, multiply that by I don't even know how many times. At one point, the British monarchy controlled 1/4 of the Earth's population. They used to say the sun never sets on a British monarchy because it's daytime in the Pacific Ocean where they control a bunch of islands. And then it's nighttime in Africa where they control a huge amount of land. The Middle East, Asia, they controlled all of the Indian subcontinent, modern day India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, right? And they stole enormous amounts of wealth from these people. They stole human beings from Africa and brought them in chains to the Americas and to Britain. And so much of that wealth was concentrated into the royal family. So you see the palaces that the monarchs live in today. All of the money that they have is stolen fucking money. And it needs to be returned. And that's why I consider this a life and death issue to abolish the monarchy. Is not just about our human dignity and being officially a full-fledged democracy or republic, which is important. It's about life and death issues, because it's not just a coincidence that the poorer parts of the world are in Africa and Asia and the richer parts of the world are in Europe. Why do you think that is? They took money, they took human beings, they took resources from their colonies and brought them there. And that money needs to be given back. There needs to be a redistribution of wealth, because people in Africa and Asia and right here in Canada on native reservations are dying as a result of poverty. So that money needs to be returned. And when I say abolish the monarchy, of course, I don't mean we should chop the Queen's head off. She's not personally responsible for any of the stuff that happened in the 1700s and the 1800s, but she's the beneficiary of that wealth today. And what I would like to see happen to the Queen, I don't know if she's the racist one. I didn't even watch this interview. I read about it in the news. Who knows? If she's racist, then she's not a nice person. If she's not the racist one, as I think I read somewhere in an interview, then she's just, someone who was born into this. But she was born into stolen money. So returning that to me means not just abolishing the institution of the monarchy. I would like to see the Queen, Prince Charles, the entire royal family of the United Kingdom. I'd like to see them not just kicked out of the palaces. I'd like to see them put on welfare. And if that sounds cruel, and if that sounds like, whoa, you're going too far there. If welfare is not good enough for Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, then it's not good enough for poor British people. It's not good enough for elderly, regular British people. You understand me? I've felt my entire life that politicians should be given minimum wage. Because if you're really there to serve your country and not because you're thirsty for power and money, then minimum wage should be good enough for you. And if minimum wage isn't good enough for you, then it's not good enough for anybody. And if politicians had to earn minimum wage, then the fucking minimum wage would go up. I guarantee you that. And everybody would be better off, because when the middle class is better, all of society is better. Now, hearing all this, there might be, I know there's going to be British people out there, because I've heard this argument, people saying, yeah, okay, well, at least for England, for British people, even though the monarchy is useless and they have all this money, they're net positive for the UK, because they attract all this tourism. Because tourists come to the UK to visit Buckingham Palace, and they want to see all this royalty, blah, 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 blah. And to everybody who says that, I have one word of an answer for you. Paris. What's the #1 tourist destination in the world? It's Paris. And two of the biggest tourist attractions in Paris are the Louvre and, what's it called? The Palace of Versailles, right? And the Louvre and the Versailles Palace used to be palaces of the monarchy. They used to be somewhere only the royal family could step foot in, okay? After the French Revolution, which was bloody, they did chop heads off, they opened up the Louvre and they opened up Versailles to the public, to the people. And Britain could do the same thing. You don't need to murder the royal family once again. You could just take their palaces away and open it up to the public. It could be a bigger tourist attraction. You're now allowed in Buckingham Palace. Come see where the Queen slept. The best fucking idea I have had all day. Have a tourist attraction where tourists can pay $1,000 to put the crown on, to wear the fucking British crown. Pay $1,000, take all that money and give it to starving people. Okay? Use it to deal with the climate crisis. Use it for something useful, because the royal family is useless. They're completely useless. They're just insulting our dignity. Lastly, I just want to say to any of my fellow V-gang members who are like, why the fuck is this guy talking about the royal family and this controversy and all this drama and shit? Go back to animal rights. You're actually going to be hearing a lot more random stuff from me like this in the future. And it's for the purpose of animal rights. Well, first of all, human beings are animals. So what I talked about of dealing with poverty and starvation, that's a life and death issue. I don't only care about animals. But in addition to that, even if you are a misanthrope and you only care about animals and you hate human beings, you should still be thinking outside of the box. Because if we're living entirely in a vegan echo chamber, we're only speaking about issues that matter to us, vegans, then we're probably not going to be doing any good for animals. The reason for that is because of the way the internet works. It's set up into echo chambers. The algorithms they want you to like and see things that matter to you. So accidentally what that means is that pieces of society get segregated. People who like, Republicans over here, Democrats over here, vegans over here in our little bubble. And if we're only reaching a vegan audience, we're doing jack shit for animals, because those people we're reaching already don't eat animals. We have to break out of the echo chamber if we're going to do any good for animals. So when I make a video like this, I'm fascinated, I'm utterly fascinated by what the United States military has declassified about these unidentified aerial phenomenon that they've been tracking on radar and filming and seeing since the 1940s. You're going to be hearing a lot from me about that in the near future. There's many topics that fascinate me. Animal rights matters the most to me because it's the greatest suffering that is existing in the world. So I think about it all the time. It's also the biggest thing that any of us can do to deal with the climate emergency. So it makes sense that that all of us are focused on animal rights, but we have to be creative in how we deal with it. So, and especially when it comes to human rights issues, when we're building bridges with other human rights groups, these are going to be the most likely people to join the vegan movement as well, because they're already conscious, they're already compassionate, they already care, and they already know something's wrong with the world. And the same compassion that people have for human beings, there's no logical reason for them not to have it for animals. When someone has no compassion, they're like, they don't give a fuck about anyone, animal or human, maybe that's not the best person, the first people we should be reaching out to go vegan. And it matters who's going to go vegan the easiest, because the quicker we get people to go vegan, the sooner we can save animals' lives. And we don't need to convince every single person in the world to stop killing animals. We only need 51% of the population if we're going to agree democratically to outlaw the murder of animals. And if you're watching this and you are not vegan, you're the people I'm trying to reach here. And I urge you to scroll through my channel, scroll through the page. And if you are vegan and you want to know about how to outlaw the murder of animals, then check out this video. Breaking out of the echo chamber is also one of the reasons I'm so committed and I'm so and I'm working so hard on vegan brain food. For those of you who don't know, I'm starting an animal rights dedicated supplement company called Vegan Brain Food, and you're going to be hearing a lot about that in the near future too. 20% of the profits from that are going to animal protection causes. So 5% is going to the vegan army, the Akashinga, the International Anti-Poaching Foundation in Zimbabwe. 5% is going to mountain gorilla conservation in the Democratic Republic of Congo, Rwanda, and Uganda, which is simultaneously going to be protecting the last mountain gorillas on planet Earth and the rainforest that they call home. So it's going to have benefits for the climate as well, and it's going to have benefits for the human beings who live there, because the only way you could help endangered species is by working with local communities, and those are some of the poorest people on the planet. So it's going to be a massive win-win situation. 5% is going to animal rescue sanctuaries. That requires no explanation. We all love sanctuaries. They need money. They need money to take care of the animals for food, veterinary bills, space. And 5% is going to broadcasting animal rights media content. That's because that other 15% that I was talking about, that's all reacting to the destruction and the death that's being caused by the animal exploitation industry. Rather than just reacting, I want to attack the root cause, which is animal consumption. That's the number one cause of mass extinction, of habitat destruction, either the number one or number two cause of the climate emergency, depending on which calculations you use. So broadcasting animal rights media content means instead of just something going viral and a bunch of vegans being like, yeah, and it's a giant vegan circle jerk, pardon my French, we're actually broadcasting videos to the people who need to see it, the people who still eat animals. So I'm really excited about that. Check out Vegan Brain Food on Instagram if you haven't already. And depending on when you're watching this, veganbrainfood.com may be live. It probably isn't though. So just check it out on Instagram. Thank you so much for watching, and have a fantastic day. If you still eat animals, please consider the fact that animals want to live as much as you do. Please consider the fact that eating animals causes cancer, causes heart attacks, which is two of the leading causes of death in the world, and a whole host of other health problems. And if you want help transitioning to a murder-free, a cruelty-free diet and lifestyle, you go to Challenge 22. They will give you one-on-one advice from certified nutritionists. If you haven't already seen it, then watch the motherfucking Game Changers. If you're concerned about the amount of protein you're going to get on a vegan diet, this gentleman right here is vegan. Elephants are vegan. Gorillas are vegan. World champion, world record breaking athletes are vegan. You got nothing to worry about. Watch the Game Changer. Going to drop all the science on you. It's a fun, informative, entertaining movie. That's it for me today. Thank you very much.